Hello and welcome to the show. Now, I was lucky enough to be invited by Playground Games to come and have a play with Horizon 3 and record the first hour of gameplay. So I figured what better place to start with the footage than to show off some car customization. Always been a big important thing with the Forza series, and it is, pretty damn awesome on Horizon 3. And what better place to start with, though, of course, than the Opel Manta. Number plates are fully customizable, and thankfully Failrace fits just perfectly on them, which is an always nice thing to have. Of course, Forza Vista is very much here. You can have a look around the cars in glorious detail. Really, it is, especially for a car like this that hasn't before been seen in the Forza series. Well, technically, it's a unicorn in Forza 6, but there isn't a way to unlock it as of yet. But to have a look around this car. The horns are fully customizable, various different options. There's 20 sort of stock horns. You can have the Warthog one. There are various other ones as well that you can unlock as rewards for various events. Thankfully, while yes, you can have the horns and you can be blaring around with them, there is an option, I did check, in the menus. If the sounds of the horns gets too annoying, people are just holding it down, you can turn it off. So don't worry if that's something that's going to annoy you in this game. It can be completely got rid of. I put a Warthog horn on here. Not that I'm probably ever going to use it, but there we go. Also, I was having issues getting out of the car by using the analog stick, so I just had to press B in the end. Yeah, fantastic, cars. There's all sorts of little details to go and wander around and have a look at. Now, the upgrade menu, if you played Forza games before, is going to be instantly familiar. Engine swaps. There is some interesting stuff here. The 5.7 litre V8 that was so common in Forza 6 has been, I guess, kind of updated to the 6.2 litre. The Corvette Stingray engine is now probably going to be the main V8 to be swapped into cars. However, I did spy on various other vehicles there are new options. An 8.2 litre V10, the Viper engine, is now a thing that can be used along with the 4.5 V10, the Lamborghini Gallardo engine. There is also the option for a V8 supercharged, again with some of the classic muscle cars. We'll have the supercharger sticking out of the bonnet. I didn't have a look at every vehicle. I don't know what other engines, but there's definitely more in the way of engine swaps. Tyres are also an interesting thing. On this Opel, unfortunately, I couldn't show it, but dirt tyres are perhaps going to be, more of the thing. You're going to have perhaps have dirt tyres for the off-roading. The PI between the dirt tyres and the race tyres on the cars that you could have it was near enough identical, but the slick tyres were giving the cars more grip. So I wonder if there is a slightly different stat, and you can see a little bit here with the rally suspension. It's the same as the race suspension in PI terms. So while the race suspension, yes, would be better when it comes to, a normal circuit, the rally suspension, while there isn't an off-roading stat, essentially, to track, I am wondering if now having proper rally parts like suspension, like the tyres, will make the cars better off-road. I didn't get a chance to test it, but it is looking like that may well be a possibility. The rest of the stuff is as you would expect. There are, and I'm not going to spoil them, but there are some incredible parts for some of the vehicles, specifically the Holden Ute, that has a very spectacular front bumper that I highly, highly recommend. Also note how lovely and smooth it is going through with these upgrades. You know how long I've sat waiting for Forza 6 to apply upgrades and so on? Yeah, lovely and quick going through here. The way it now works is you'll notice everything is being dumped into a basket. The parts aren't instantly bought. So once you're done, it'll all go into a basket, and then you buy the lot in one go. Then they get applied in one go, so you only have that sort of bit of delay. So it's not having to install the parts individually. Really nice system. Makes it really, really nice and easy to navigate through with the whole upgrading. Now, unfortunately, I would love to have shown you driving around in the Opel. That was literally at the very end of my time that I got to mess around with the Manta. So a little bit of a shame, but instead we've got a cross-country race with the Lamborghini Urus. Now, I did have a little bit of look at the various bits and pieces that you can do with this car, kind of as you would imagine. The 6-litre V12 is back once more. Whether that's going to be the most powerful engine, though, I think there's going to be a lot more options for 1,000-plus horsepower engines. I didn't get to build a car up with the Viper engine, but I do know from previous Forza games, or I would expect that engine to be hitting 1,000 horsepower. The V8 supercharged engine, I did have a go around in a Dodge Dart. That was over 1,000 horsepower as well. Some engines, the quad rotor, I didn't see, but it could well be. I had a look at the Alpha 155 that did have a quad rotor in Forza 6. It wasn't an option on here, but I would be very, very surprised if the quad rotor wasn't around. Basically, there's going to be more options in terms of car customization. Of course, you've got the whole wide body kits. They kind of work more as almost conversions for the vehicles. When I got my Dodge Dart, when I applied the wide body kit, essentially, or the upgrade option for that car, which was to put in the V8 supercharged, the supercharger sticking out of the bonnet and so on. It kind of converts the entire vehicle. The Alpha 155 has the DTM kit for it as a whole conversion on. So yeah, as far as upgrades-wise goes, it is looking very, very promising. This cross-country race I was messing about with in the Urus, managed to get myself to the lead. Again, you played Horizon 2, you'll know what these things are about, bounding your way around the terrain. Unfortunately for me, might have slightly overcooked it. And, well, yeah, I ended up in a tree, couldn't find reverse. It was generally a bit of poor drive. I managed to turn the radio on by accident while I was trying to get the car out of the tree. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very good going from me as we jump our way into the ocean. I actually overtook 2 cars in that jump. I don't know whether they tangled on the landing or whether I was just going a lot quicker than they were. But yeah, cleared 2 cars in all of that. I was seeing if by sticking on the sand, of course, when you're in the water, there's going to be a lot of resistance to the vehicle moving forward. Very, very close underneath the rock face there. So I was trying to keep out of the water for as much as I possibly could, hoping that it might give me some advantage. Again, I'm running. There may be a couple of scratches on the roof of the Lamborghini as we come up towards the finish line. It's a drag race between me and I'm not quite sure what I'm alongside. A BMW as we head towards this finish line, but the BMW is a little too far ahead for me to do it. Quite a good recovery considering with about 3 checkpoints to go, I was in a tree and dead last. But yeah, as a cross-country race, they're as crazy and balmy as ever. But as I said, we've got wheel spins back, of course. These, I'm hoping, unlike in some of the early Horizon games, where it kind of stopped at, I think like level 50 it got to and stopped. Now in Forza 6, whatever level, you still get a wheel spin when you level up. I hope that continues, because I love the random rewards. You never know when you're going to get a nice amount of money. Also, as promised, the Ariel Nomad. This car is a fantastically crazy vehicle. Got to have a go with it. This is one of the bucket list challenges. These things are very much back in. Unfortunately, the only ones that I got to play around with were the fairly easy ones, the fairly basic ones. So quite a nice, lenient sort of a time on this. I figured I would use it to find out just how open the map was going to be. While Horizon 2 was pretty good in terms of allowing you to point your car in a direction and go, there were still times when it would be a very, very big bounce and a very big wheelie. There were still times where there were, not invisible walls, but there were low-lying stone walls that would block you from going too far off the reservation. That is not the case here. As we can see, in all of my time playing, I only ever found one sort of low-lying stone wall that stopped me going directly to whatever destination it was, and that was a stone wall along the edge of a cliff. And apart from that, I didn't find any. You want to go and throw the car off into this sort of rainforesty jungle area. As we can see here, you are very much able to, although that doesn't mean that you might not come across various obstacles. I was hoping I could jump over the guardrail. I could not. It was worth a try in the Ariel. Now we're finding ourselves skirting along at an interesting angle and slightly losing control of the car. Managed to gather it all back up again, and now find ourselves on the road. Not really, I don't want to be on the tarmac road, not when you've got the Nomad here. Yeah, incredibly pretty game. You might have noticed from this. It's absolutely gorgeous. The scenery is fantastic. The actual map size is probably not that larger than Horizon 2, but the variety is just phenomenal. You go from Surfer's Paradise, quite a modern city, to this. We're in the middle of a rainforest, middle of a jungle. You've then got the deserts as well to go exploring. The variety is just absolutely spot on, which makes it an absolute joy to go around exploring. And as I said, you're not really restricted in where you can go. You can point your vehicle and just head there. There can sometimes be the odd obstacle, though, like these rocks that I managed to crash into, trying to go a little bit too direct to the checkpoint on that one. As I said, this was a relatively lenient time. Some of the trees are destructible, some of them are not. Yeah, relatively lenient on the time front. So, yeah, gorgeous game. Exploration is absolutely incredible. Customization, there's a lot more options. I am very much looking forward to Horizon 3. However, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.